Do you find yourself dreading going to that family get together? I mean, it might be anytime during the year, like a birthday party or a family gathering in the summertime. Do you have trouble with that? Well, right now, it's the holidays, and there's all kinds of parties and holiday gatherings, and sometimes we dread going to them. But I'm going to give you 10 things today to help you create the life that you want to live because we all want to be happy. We want to have a good time. We want to have a good attitude. Or do we? Do you want to have a good attitude when you're going to a family gathering? All right. Attitude is a choice, and it's a choice for us to make a good one. And we get bogged down by stress and frustration, and we forget to self-inspect and think, what is my attitude? And we only notice somebody else's attitude. Okay, so we're all different. We're all different personalities. There's the talker. When you enter the room at that party, you immediately see the talker. There's the minimalist, the agreeer. They agree to everything. They never tell you no. And the demander, the person who demands this, demands that. It might be the attention of the room or that the lines start this way, whatever it is. Who irritates you? Who irritates you the most? Well, some people are very tolerant of people, and others are very irritated by people. Which one are you? Which one do you want to be? So, here's the first thing. Don't bring your stress to the party. And that means starting ahead of time, making a list, getting your food ready early, making sure the kids are ready to go out the door so that you don't spaz out as you're going out the door. Yeah, I know. I've been there. And when you do ahead and you have your list and you've done everything ahead, oh my gosh, we can keep a good attitude and everything is better, right? Okay. So here's some things. First of all, I'm Connie Durham, and I am the creator of the Extraordinary Marriage Podcast. And I've created it for you to help you find your best self and enjoy life more. And this past week has been the busiest week of the year for me. It's been the busiest week. I had choir rehearsals, 2.5 hour rehearsals every single night, except for Wednesday. And I had choir rehearsal at church. Then we had two performances, a Friday evening performance for this 70-person chorale that my husband and I are in together, and then a Sunday afternoon performance. Besides having 35 people for dinner at my house on
That sounds like a
Saturday.
really busy schedule, especially with those 2.5 hour nightly rehearsals and two performances. You must be exhausted.
Okay, so that's really weird. That was AI. That was not planned. That was AI, and he just started talking to me. That is really weird. Okay, I'm gonna leave that in. All right, so every year when I get to that week, and I don't always have company that weekend, but we put that in there, and I decided and I made a decision that I was going to get my house ready, plan the menu, talk to the people about what they were bringing. I would do everything ahead of time. I just made a decision that I would not spaz about it. I would not stress because what I found myself doing in the past years was constantly talking about something in a frustrated manner, like a week or a 2 week before the event. So I would start thinking my thoughts, and then I would start talking out loud and to myself about how hard it was going to be. And so I literally put that in my brain. I put that in my thoughts. But this year I decided different. And praise God, I will say I did not have a stressful week. Now, we'll tell you, after that 7 days, I was exhausted. That was yesterday. I was exhausted, but I didn't stress. And I enjoyed each and every event. And it was awesome. So I hope I can spread that and pass that to you today. And you listen to this before your family events come on. Norman Vincent Peale says, the way to happiness. Keep your heart free from hate, your mind from worry. Live simply. Expect little. Give much. Scatter sunshine. Forget yourself. Think of others. Try this for a week and you will be surprised. What are the top thoughts in your mind? Is it confidence and success or worry? Which one is it? W. Clementine Stone says, there is little difference in people. Little difference in people, but that little difference makes a big difference. The little difference is attitude. The big difference is whether it's positive or negative. Which one do you usually have? I'm going to say I usually have a positive attitude, but when I have a lot going on, a little too much, I start using that negative voice and it just talks to me in a not nice way constantly. Does that happen to you? Well, the first thing you want to do is you want to make a decision. You want to make the decision to look on the bright side. Look on the bright side. And I found this years ago to help me, only a few years ago, actually, to let my yeses be yes. And that means if I say yes, I'll do that at my house, or yes, I'll be there at that party, or yes, I'll bake a cake. Whatever my yes is in any circumstance in life, I now, before I answer, I take a second. And if I say yes, I'm going to be happy about it. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to own it. And if I say no, I'm not going to be guilty. I say that because I would say yes and not want to do it, be irritated, drain my energy all week because I didn't want to do something and I said I would. Or I would say no and I would feel so guilty because I said no. Do you see my point? So let your yeses be yes. It's integrity, respect, right? Let your yeses be yes and learn, and your no's be no, and learn to look on the bright side. The second thing is understand the people around you. And sometimes we have to give them a little bit of slack. What's going on in their life? Are they a worrisome person or are they a positive person? Are they a helpful person? Are they a demanding person? Yeah, people are wired the way they're wired. And yes, we all react certain ways to stress. Maybe they were stressed out when they came in, but we all react to stress in some way. I found out a few years ago, it finally came to me as, I teach communication skills all the time. All of a sudden, I realized that my stress factor was when you hear sarcasm. hmm It means somehow I've gotten too tired, I haven't eaten, I'm stressed out, and I'm sarcastic. I don't mean to be. I'm kind of positive usually. Yeah, I get sarcastic, and I didn't even realize it. So understand the people around you and give them a little bit of slack. The third thing is we got to get past ourselves. When we're in a group of people, everything's not about us, and when we can't always have our way. Some people always need to have their way or be the center of attention. We have to get past ourselves. The fourth thing is know yourself. Know how you react to stress. And honestly, it's important to know how your spouse reacts to stress because you're with them all the time. If you can recognize the stress, then you can kind of back off and know that maybe somebody's not talking nice or they're too loud or they're demanding, and it's not about you. It's about them. And if we can understand that, it kind of helps us let go of that. Change your thoughts and change your words. Change your thoughts to yourself and change your words to yourself. I'm terrible at that. I like to say if other people talk to me the way I talk to me, I would not be friends with them. I wouldn't like them very good. But I never talk to other people that way. So why do I do that to myself? So know yourself, how you react to stress, and change your thoughts and change your words. Years ago, I discovered the key to communication, to understanding people. It is called DISC. Capital D, capital I, capital S, capital C. DISC, DISC. Each one represents a different personality style. Once you know those styles, you can understand their stress style, their communication style, what they want from you, how to get along with them. It is the key to communication, whether it is with your spouse, with your family, with your boss at work, with your friend, all those things you just don't understand about whoever, you understand once you have taken this workshop. And I did a week-long training, and I've continued, in that through the years. And it is truly the key to communication, and it's a secret. People just don't know about it. Now, Chick-fil-A, Delta Airlines, some of these top companies, they use DISC in team building and for the to help their people understand their customers and to work better on their teams at work. So, I teach a local class and online class, and so you have to watch for that. It's called Rediscover Your Spouse Workshop. You not only rediscover your spouse, you discover yourself and you start to understand your teenagers and all the people around you and all those people that are at that party or that holiday event. Number five, remember that friendship is like a bank. Whenever you're constantly bickering or withdrawing from the bank, but just like your money, you withdraw from the bank. If you're saying not nice things, if you're running around with a grumpy face, I've seen people at events that like they're sucking the happy air out of the room. Don't do that. Be a giver. Be happy. What do you have to give? Love on people. It's about loving on people. Remember that friendship is like a bank. You're either making deposits in your friendship, in your relationship, with your kids. You're making deposits with that hostess. You're making deposit with the people that you haven't seen all year, or you're making withdrawals. Which one are you doing? Number six, be flexible. Sometimes we have to take a breath before we speak. So if you have a hot temper, it's important to take a breath before you speak. If you're sarcastic and you're feeling frustrated, take a breath before you speak. Practice patience. Some people are literally, we go back to those keys in communication and personality styles. Some people are literally so very patient, and others are absolutely impatient. And so, if you're very impatient, you have to take a breath and you have to work on that in order to get along with people and try not to judge people because you do not know what they're going through. Often, somebody's boastful or they're doing this or they're doing that, and people are judgmental. And they don't know what that person's going through or what they've been through. They don't know what their day is like. And they might not have heard any of my The Extraordinary Marriage podcast and know that all these things are bogging them down. um, and then number seven, laughter is the best therapy. Are you so serious that you can't enjoy a little fun and a laugh? When something stupid, silly happens, instead of getting irritated, unless I'm stressed out, instead of getting irritated, I laugh about it almost always stupid, silly things that happen. You know, Getting upset just doesn't help anything at all. And laughter is a de-stressor. It makes you immediately feel better. Sometimes I go around with my grandkids, and I've done this with my children even. Whenever they had a sad face or maybe they were like giving me a little I'm in a mood face and they really were just needing some attention. I would try to stare them down and make them laugh or whatever, and they would just say, "Oh, I'm not going to succumb to mom doing this to me." But you know what? Once their face cracked, once they smiled, once that person who's at that holiday party who looks not happy and you compliment them or you say something nice or you relate to something that you both enjoy doing, then they smile. And once they smile, it's like their face is cracked. Once they smile, their mood changes, everything changes. Are you smiling? Laughter is the best therapy. And number eight, I already said that, give compliments. Give compliments. What do you say? What do you say to start a conversation? You say, "Hey, I remember that great sweet potato souffle you made last year. Did you make that this year? That was so good." That's a compliment, right? "I love your pound cakes you make every year. Did you make those? Ooh, what did you bring today? I brought this." Make conversation, give compliments, sincere compliments, appreciate people. There's a deposit. When you compliment and you appreciate people, it's a deposit in your relationship. sometimes it's nice to bring the hostess a little gift, not something big. My daughter had our event this year for Thanksgiving, and I just took a cute little kitchen towel that I found. Just a little something. One of my sister-in-laws is always bringing me something, and she brought me a purse that someone had given her. Actually, it was a Coach purse that she used and she's not using now, and it's beautiful. And actually, I would never spend the money on a Coach purse. Somebody gave it to her. She gave it to me. I love it. It has like a blue jean material to it, and I love it. Give compliments. Number 9, this is big, and I talk about this on my podcast about the forgiving formula. There's a way to forgive people who've really, really wronged you in life. You know, have they really, really wronged you? Be forgiving. Let it go. If you really screwed up with somebody, would you want to be forgiven? I would. All right, number 10, positive communication is the key. Positive communication is the key. A lot of times we get talking about frustrating things, things that are going wrong. What's going right? Pour into people. You know, let people know that you'll help. Positive communication. Like as the hostess, if you need help, people are all around you, they're talking and they need a little direction. So you have to communicate. Hey, can somebody pull that out of the oven? Hey, can somebody grab the plates? Hey, can somebody put those chairs that are against the wall behind around the tables if you didn't get that done? Hey, can somebody help with this? And sometimes it's, hey guys, you got to move out of the kitchen while I get all this finished. Instead of getting frustrated. So let people know how they can help because if you don't communicate it, you don't tell people what you need, they do not know because they don't read your mind. All right, so that's 10 signs of a positive attitude. I'm going to give you that. I just gave you 10 ways to create the life you want to live every day because you want to live a happy life every single day. All right, 10 signs that you have a positive attitude. You're attentive, you're encouraging, energetic, flexible, patient, you're forgiving, you're humble, you're open minded, you're respectful of everyone, and you're polite. Now, let's go back to that stress we talked about earlier. If you bring that stress into the room, it's a withdrawal from the party, from the room, from your family, from the people. What kind of person do you want to be, right? You want to be positive. Romans 12:2 says, and I tell you this because we all have our down days. Do not conform to the pattern of the world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. Aristotle says excellence is never an accident. It is always the result of high intention, sincere effort, and intelligent execution. It represents the wise choices of many alternatives. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. I'm Connie Durham. You can find one of my free gifts. I actually have a free gifts page that everybody should have so they can tap into it and find what they need in their marriage. It is simply at theextraordinarymarriage.com slash backslash or maybe that's forward slash um, free dash gifts with an S. Free dash gifts with an S. You'll find my free gifts there, and there's everything from figuring out, what's causing anger and frustration in your marriage, how to be a savvy spouse. That means the qualities that make a savvy spouse, the chemistry of lasting love. That is 10 different needs that people have. You find out what those are for your spouse, and you can connect and stay connected to your spouse. I hope you'll grab those. Thank you for listening, and I'll talk to you next time. And that will be on Christmas Day.